What's up, millennials? The EuroCup is in full swing, the Copa America is going on, and the UFC token is going to launch soon. So is it time to pay attention to Chiliz right now? Today we're going to talk about these developments, and we're also going to take a look at the charts to see what the charts can tell us right now. So let's do it! Before we hop into the technical analysis, we're going to talk a little bit about the fundamental analysis. Yesterday, I swapped a little bit of my Ethereum for Chiliz because I'm going to hold Chiliz for a little bit longer and I want to have a little bit more exposure to the world of NFTs. And by the way, if you want to join our Discord premium membership where I share my buy and sell alerts for stocks and for crypto too, then definitely go to nesami.com/discord. Soon on June 30th, we're going to have the launch of the UFC token. This could be a potential catalyst, of course, for some more upside for Chiliz because we might see some more people joining the Chiliz platform. However, if we check out this post about Argentina, because Argentina was also going to have a fan token on Chiliz, we can see that in the comment section there are quite a lot of negative people about the Argentina token, because right now it seems that the token is still not launched on Chiliz while it was going to be launched just a few weeks ago, I believe. So people asking when the listing is going to happen, Argentina in the finals, Argentina, but they are waiting for the Chiliz listing of the ARG token, the Argentina token. So I'm wondering if the same is going to happen with the UFC token, if everything is going to run smoothly or not. And by the way, if you want to check out which tokens are available for trade right now, you can go to the Chiliz website, you can go to their exchange, and then you can see over here the fan tokens that are right now being listed. And yeah, Argentina is still not in it and the UFC token is still not in it as well, but let's hope that is going to change very soon. Now, before I'm going to give you my opinion about the price action of Chiliz right now, we're going to take a look at the charts of Chiliz versus US dollar and also Chiliz versus Ethereum right now. So let's start out with Chiliz versus the US dollar. We are right now on the daily chart, so every candlestick, every vertical bar you see is 1 day of price action. And we can see that if we go to the price action, we are definitely in a downtrend for a couple of months now. It does seem that we were in the process of a potential reversal, but then I believe we had a nice little bull trap going on right here. We saw a breakout above this resistance line over here, but that was actually not a reversal at all, because right after this daily candlestick, when we broke above that resistance level around 33 cents more or less, we didn't see any follow-up the day after, and we just continued to go to the downside. So that was definitely a bull trap going on in my personal opinion. Now let's talk a little bit about the support levels and the resistance levels. First of all, we can see that we are trading around a pretty important support level of about 21 cents right now. This has been a support level since basically the end of May. We saw a pretty important low over here, a pretty significant low over here at the beginning of June too, and now it seems that we are putting in another low around that same level. So I believe that 21 cents level is going to be very important. If we're going to close below that, then that might be a little bit more annoying. That level is also being more strengthened even further by the Bollinger Bands, because these Bollinger Bands, these are those green bars over here, this green field over here. If you zoom in a little bit, you can see that the lower side of the Bollinger Bands is also hovering around that 21 cents level. So again, I do believe that 21 cents or even 20 cents is going to be a very significant level. If we're going to break below that with quite a lot of volume, then that could definitely be annoying, because we just don't really have a lot of price action around these levels, so we don't really know when the next support level is going to be. So that makes it very difficult to put any price targets on that move, on a potential move below the level of 21 cents. If we look to the upside, we can see some resistance to the upside for sure as well. First of all, we can see the 55 EMA, which is this white line over here, acting as resistance. It has been holding price action down for the last couple of months, and especially here on the 16th and 17th of June, we saw a pretty significant rejection of the 55 EMA. So I believe that if we're going to trade back up to the upside, I believe that the 55 EMA is going to act as pretty strong resistance, and currently that 55 EMA is hovering around the price level of 32 cents, but it is going to be going lower in the next coming days, of course. And also, if you look at the Bollinger Bands again, we were looking at the lower side of the Bollinger Bands for support, but if we look at the upper side of the Bollinger Bands, we can see that the upper side is currently trading around 34 cents. So I believe that even if we go above the 55 EMA, we would likely be kept down because of the upper side of the Bollinger Bands. And even if we go above that level, then the next level of resistance, I believe, is going to be around 39 cents, which has been a pretty significant level all the way over here. It was a pretty significant low over here created by this wick on the 7th of April, because of this low on the 25th of April, and also because of this low on the 12th of May, more or less. So I believe that the 39 cents is going to be a very important level as well. If we then zoom out a little bit and we go to the RSI, we can see that the RSI is flip-flopping around a little bit. It's not in a very strong posture just right now. We did see some bullish divergence over here, but I believe that has already played out over here. And right now we seem to be just trading a little bit sideways. Nothing really strong is going on right now. And also, if you take a look at the MACD, MACD had a fresh cross to the downside, which definitely is not a good sign. So yeah, this is a little bit more bearish in my opinion. So that is my technical analysis for Chiliz US dollar. But then let's take a look at Chiliz versus Ethereum right now. And Chiliz versus Ethereum, if you look at the long term so far, it's definitely not good. We are definitely in a downtrend, but we are potentially seeing a reversal right now in the last couple of weeks going on. We are right now making higher highs and higher lows, so that is definitely good to see, but we do need to see some follow-up in the next coming weeks, more or less. But so far it still looks good. We had a high or a low over here, a higher low over here, and a higher low over here, and we did have a high over here, and a higher high over here, and a higher high over here. So let's see if we're now going to be able to create an even higher high compared to this high over here. If we then take a look at the support levels of this chart, we can see that the lows were created around this blue box over here. So I believe that blue box is going to be a pretty significant level of support. And also, if you look at the Bollinger Bands again, we can see that the lower band of the Bollinger Bands is also trading around that blue box. So I believe that blue box is going to be quite significant. If you look at the resistance to the upside, we can see that again, the 55 EMA has kept price action down in the last couple of weeks. That was definitely a rejection of the 55 EMA right over here at the 16th and 17th of June. And right now we are going back above to that level of the 55 EMA. So again, I believe that the 55 EMA is going to act as resistance in the future. If we do break above that, I believe that the next level of resistance is around that level of the upper side of the Bollinger Bands, which you can see over here. And then if we go to the RSI, we can see that that is flip-flopping around a little bit. It's definitely stronger compared to the Chiliz versus US dollar chart. We had multiple drives of bullish divergence. Bullish divergence meaning that the price action was making lower lows, whereas the indicator, in this case the RSI, was making higher lows. So that was definitely a good sign. And right now we are also we have also confirmed hidden bullish divergence, meaning that the price action was making higher lows and the indicator was making lower lows, which also is a good sign. And then if we go to the MACD, we can see that it is still above the signal line. So the blue line, which is the MACD, still is above the signal line, but it could definitely turn back down and have a fresh cross to the downside. So in general, if you want my thoughts about the current price action of Chiliz, I think it's a little bit boring, honestly, but I don't really have a strong opinion about the price action just right now. I do believe that the trend is relatively weak, especially if you look at the Chiliz versus US dollar chart. The Chiliz versus Ethereum chart looks a little bit stronger and could potentially indicate a reversal going on right now. If you look at the indicators like the RSI and the MACD, these are slightly neutral to potentially even bearish. So I believe that if you look at the US dollar chart and the Ethereum chart, or well, Chiliz versus US dollar and Ethereum, I believe that we are kind of stuck between the support levels and the 55 EMA, and also between the both upper side and lower side, of course, of the Bollinger Bands. So right now, I believe that we are simply waiting for a breakout to happen to either side, and until that is going to happen, then I believe the most likely scenario for now seems to be sideways price action. Now, do keep in mind that the UFC token is likely going to launch next week on the 30th of June, and also that the Argentina token might be launching soon too. So those two fan token launches could definitely provide a boost to the Chiliz token. And of course, I'm very much looking forward to hearing from you as well. Do you believe that Chiliz is going to break to the upside or to the downside? Let me know in the comments. And with that being said, thank you very much for taking the time to watch this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye!